representative of Germany, and I give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation. Thank you very much, Mr. President. We would like to welcome the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mali, Madam Kamisa Kamaro, to today's meeting. We're also grateful to Assistant Secretary General Bintou Keita for her briefing. We are satisfied that on the political level, the situation in Mali remains stable overall. We welcome efforts by Bamako and the group's signatories' platform and coordination in implementing the peace agreement. We expect that the planned stock-taking in March, they will be taking additional steps, in particular in the area of disarmament, demobilization, reintegration of combatants, and on the topic of administrative territorial reforms. If it'll be possible to do this, then the parliamentary elections that was postponed to the summer of 2019 will be held in much more favorable conditions. We note the efforts by Bamako to reestablish the government institutions in the north of the country. The establishment of 10 interim territorial administrations in Kidali, Menake, and Tombouctou is no doubt a very important step forward. As we see it, the support by the UN mission to the effective work of such transitional structures would also be far from extraneous. The government and MINUSMA should make more efforts with their outreach with the population to explain the importance and the meaning of the peace agreement and the role of the UN mission. As time has demonstrated, the Pact for Peace that was signed in October 2018 has played a positive role in the Malian situation. The pact was signed between Bamako and the special representative of the Secretary General. The fact that the platform and coordination groups joined this agreement gave an additional impetus to implementing the peace agreement and the roadmap. At the same time, we would like to note that the introduction of increasingly new sanctions will hardly contribute to a true consolidation and support by all the parties for the peace agreement. While noting the obvious positive steps in the area of the Malian peace process, we must nevertheless point out other, unfortunately less encouraging trends in the country. We are concerned about the continuing increase in the number of terrorist actions. We regret we mourn the peacekeepers that have died in Mali. Human rights violations are ubiquitous. In the center of Mali, inter-ethnic and inter-communal conflicts continue to simmer. To resolve these conflicts, the full presence of the authorities is an urgent factor. In this connection, we should recognize the results that the UN mission has achieved in reconciliation of warring parties. We're also worried about the worsening humanitarian situation. The number of people requiring assistance has increased by 50% over the past year. This is not normal. We call on all external donors to urgently finance a humanitarian appeal. We'd like to remind you that in conditions of despair, the Malian youth has no other options but to fill the ranks of terrorists or extremist or criminal groups. In this connection, it would be extremely important that to keep pace with efforts to boost economic activity in central and northern parts of the country and to return social services to these areas. We welcome the intention of the government of Mali to take ownership of the national ownership of the process and to actively move towards the political normalization and economic stabilization. At the same time, we note that the situation in Mali is an important factor of overall African security. To achieve peace in this country will be much simpler in case the situation in the region as a whole is normalized. The Libyan factor continues to exert a negative impact. it's becoming increasingly evident that there's a link up between terrorists operating on the territory of Mali and in the region as a whole. In this connection, we support the concrete steps by the countries of the G5 Sahel in establishing joint forces to combat terrorism and organized crime. We expect that their role to bolster regional security will continue to grow. Thank you very much.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for